collaboration in our neighborhood was, we called it Seward Reads, and it was kind of in place of our annual summer camps that we do here at the bookstore. We couldn't do camp in 2020 because of the pandemic, so we had to come up with an alternate plan for kids' activities for here at the store. And I was kind of at a loss for what to do, and so I called the director of the Seward Library because I knew she was struggling with the same things. They always do a lot of kids' activities there too, and she didn't know what she was going to do. So we kind of had a brainstorming session, and we came up with the idea to choose a book that kids and adults and senior citizens, families, everybody in town could read together and do activities to extend. And we chose the book Wish Tree by Katherine Applegate because it's all about connection and acceptance and openness, and we felt like 2020 was the kind of year where you needed to build as many connections as possible. So that was our goal for the activity, was just to bring people together reading the same book, kind of just to extend community and to build a welcoming, open environment in the midst of all the crises that were going on this summer. And we had a grant to buy 200 copies of the book and distribute it around town. So some people bought the book, but anybody who felt like they couldn't afford to buy a book or didn't have access to the bookstore or something, we distributed them at schools, senior centers, nursing homes. So we had 200 books around town, and we had grandmas who were Zooming with their grandkids and reading it together. We had daycare centers reading it. Churches were using it for sermons. So yeah, we had it all over the community. The idea originally came from a brainstorming session that I had with the library director. And I'm not sure really which one of us came up with the idea in the first place, but then after that we both involved our staffs in coming up with ideas to go with the book and extend the reading. So we had the library staff, the bookstore staff. I was teaching a class at Concordia, and I had my students come up with ideas. We had the schools here in town, all the principals gave us some input, and the librarians. So it has input from a lot of different places. Some positive outcomes from the activity were that people were excited about a book, for one thing. And we felt like it was a good way to get people talking about some of the issues that came up this summer with the race riots, because the whole premise of the book is being welcoming and open to people who may not look exactly like you or may not have the same values that you do or opinions that you do. And it was all about creating a welcoming neighborhood. So we saw, people talking about the book, people relating it to their own lives, sharing it with other generations. So it was just a good way to get people communicating and sharing their ideas. One thing that I thought was really cool that happened because of this project was that we got the author of the book involved, and she did a Zoom with us, and we had people from all over the country participating in the Zoom. Kids were there, adults were involved, teachers who used the book in their classroom. So we had a great conversation with the author because we did this activity. And I also had a Lutheran school, I think it was in Indiana, that she heard about it, and she called and said, hey, we want to do this with our school this summer too. Can you help me out and tell me what you did? So by creating this event here in Seward, Nebraska, we spread the idea around the country too.